what I just did there actually is a great validation of seeing price action in the stock market and then looking at the commodity itself, the Bitcoin market that you guys, a lot of people don't even look at the stock market, but actually seeing sort of corresponding price action and justification for why we would think, pullbacks are buying opportunities and actually giving very specific levels for us to hunt. If you are interested in stocks, there were a couple of ideas that we posted that were just sort of like, wow, man, that's ought to be paying attention to this. So first thing that we did last night, obviously, because everybody's in love with Bitcoin, wanted to look at the actual Bitcoin ETFs and what are they painting as technical objectives. If we think about 50% rules, we think about first stop targets, Collins pump chaser zone. This is a really good application of value. And really what should happen here is we should do nothing more than just come down, kiss the top of value. You can see the value shelf here. We should just slam right into that and then reject away from it. Usually on first blush, value high, there's a bunch of open orders here to buy that were just never filled. And you can see the market structure. This is a W. People will place buy on stop orders right here. You see how the market moved up. It pulled back just a little bit. My hunch is there's a bunch of buy orders, and also too, notice there's a nice juicy gap that needs filling in. And there's also one here. You might get some crazy ass tail that comes all the way down into here. But my hunch is if you're looking for support in the Bitcoin, ETF land, this is everything that we teach. Well, Collins pump chaser zone, first stop target, WD GAN, top of value. And of course, what's really interesting, David, of course, absolutely loves his inverted head and shoulders. And this is actually a perfectly valid inverted head and shoulder setup. And in fact, he likes this even more because, think ICT kind of stuff. You can make an argument that this is bearish structure, lower highs and lower lows. And then by us making a higher high here, we've gone and broken. Think of this as Mr. ICT's MSS level, that market structure. So on the breaking of this MSS, you just draw your fib, your 61.8, and you throw your open order in at that level. And that is exactly this trade that I did the other day on the NASDAQ. And actually, I've done a bunch of these trades here recently. This is exactly the same concept. Break the market structure. This is to the downside. Throw your order in, and you see that there's a bit of a hole in price action here. Right? This is his fair value gap concept. And really, the easy way for you to think about this is look how this big honking red candle, right? The market lost this level and then just absolutely puked out. It was just one directional. So I would say that, there's your fair value gap. Throw on your fib. There's a 61.8. In this case, there was actually even a little bit of a gap right up at the 78.6. I would have looked like a genius that I just said, I'm going to short Brian's favorite fib. But this setup, I just noticed that it does work quite often very well off 61.8. And you tell me, did that work? So the irony of it all is that I think you can actually see the exact same setup off a higher time frame. You can see how the market kind of just went one directional here on this huge move. You might even draw a diagonal line off of this range right here for the fair value gap. And then maybe, I don't know, this is a tough one. I mean, would you go off of maybe there and then to there? I don't know. Point here is you can kind of see how the market was just one directional through this whole push up here. It might be, I'm not going to call this an ICT setup. All I'm just going to simply say is it looks very similar. And I can see the same sort of logic behind this pullback here into this support area, the top of value. If we can get the mountain man tag, then really all it is just a tag of this original market structure level. And of course, Adam, he's hunting his shark setups off of 78.6, which would be way down here. I don't know whether I'd call that a shark. I mean, there's a little bit of a market structure bottom there, but I think that you're probably going to see buy support come in here on this 61.8. which ironically enough is that ICT guy's setup. And I like that as a serious test of these lows. Remember I showed you just on the chart the Bitcoin chart itself. I said, where's the institutional fingerprint? It's that bar and that bar right in there. So what a surprise. That's going to be right up against 61.8. It's going to be right up against the top of value, slam down. And really, this inverted head and shoulders will continue working as long as this low here, this red dotted line, is not taken out. So interesting. And I have heard from David before, he'll say, if we get a tail that comes into here, but the actual candle body does not take this low out, that's fine by him. So I just find it interesting that all of my sort of talk about, following the halving event, we should see 50% retracement. What's the fundamental driver following the halving event? Then we pull up this Bitcoin ETF, and everything that we teach you people is just right here in glorious Technicolor. I mean, it's just staring at us in the face. And oh, by the way, a pullback into this zone represents a really, really good buying opportunity. So go figure. Anyway, that's why I wanted to mention that. This is a great lesson. What I just did there, I think actually is a great validation of seeing price action in the stock market and then looking at the commodity itself, the Bitcoin market, that you guys, a lot of people don't even look at the stock market, but actually seeing sort of corresponding price action and justification for why we would think, pullbacks are buying opportunities, and actually giving very specific levels for us to hunt.